All right, everybody, welcome to Brickiosity. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is the first video of ours that you're watching, well, welcome, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're coming back, this is not the first video you've seen from the channel. We appreciate your support. If you guys want to continue that support, go ahead and hit the like button for the video and subscribe to the channel, and that way you'll get notified. Well, you got to hit the notification bell, but you'll get notified of any videos that we put out going forward. So we would appreciate you guys doing that. Anyway, today's video, we're going to be covering where do I start, right? Where do I start with a Lego city? When we started, we didn't know where to begin. We literally started with a passenger train that came with a train station. So again, if you're new to the channel, Theodore is our middle boy, and he is the most enthusiastic about building with Lego bricks. So um, he also likes trains. So a few years ago, he got the passenger train that comes with the train station. So we built him a little platform on casters that he can roll in and out from under his bed, and no base plates. It was literally just sitting on top of plywood, just a basic circle with the train, and we had the train station sitting off to the side. So wasn't a whole lot of planning. We didn't have the foresight at the time to think of layout. We weren't thinking about building a Lego city at that point. We were just kind of like, oh, cool, we'll set it up. You can play with it. It'll be great. Well, over the next couple years, he started getting more interested in building an actual Lego city. So um, this is what we started with. We started with the train station and the passenger train. As you can see, again, if you're new to Lego, so this is a standard base plate, 32 studs by 32. So that's your standard base plate. Quite clearly, that train station does not fit on a standard base plate. So we eventually decided to go with a larger 48 by 48, which this fits with a few studs on either side. Still has some room. So that is centered towards the back of the plate, and there's still some room on either side. So this is kind of what started it all, and then it grew from there. So one of the first things I would recommend before even trying to plan out a city or anything like that is decide what sets most interest you. So there's several themes, right? So you have DC, you have Marvel, you have Minecraft, you have Fortnite is one of the newer ones over the last year and a half, 2 years. So you have City, you have Icons. There's a bunch of different sets or themes, I should say, that have a little bit different look to it. So you got Friends as well. You got that Friends theme, and now you have all the modulars like the Tudor Corner, and you got some of those that are retired now. There's like a French cafe. It's a little bit smaller one that goes with kind of the same design, same area design anyway, of like the Tudor Corner. So, but go to Lego.com, look at all the different um, themes that you can go with. You got Creator as well. That's another one. So we like the Icons, we like the Lego City, but we have a whole bunch of other ones. But the Winter Village is we've been, if you haven't watched the channel before, most of our videos that are out there right now are um, in relation to the Winter Village. So we have done a lot this time of year, especially. That's where we started. We were getting close when we started. It was October. We were getting close to the holidays. So we decided, let's focus on the Winter Village. Let's get that, I'm using air quotes here, completed, because Lego City is never completed. You're always working on it. But we wanted to get the Winter Village to where we were happy with it for the year, and we've done that, thankfully. But the Winter Village is primarily made up of the Icons series. So, but the other series is Lego City. That's kind of the one that you find the most sets in that theme. So, like I have uh, Prison Island. It's like Alcatraz essentially. Um, we have that. We have a police station. We have a commercial fishing dock. We have a bunch of different Lego City sets. So that's primarily what we're going to be using. There are some 3-in-1 creator sets that are really cool, and I can actually pan over here. So that's one of the 3-in-1 creator sets. We have another one back there that got knocked off the table, so we got to rebuild it. But anyway, we started, like I said, with this 32 by 32 base plate. Put a couple train tracks on there, as you can see. This is 2 tracks here. They fit together, so we were just kind of playing around with it. So 2 tracks will fit on a 32 by 32 inch base plate, or 32 by 32 stud base plate. And if you put one more, and if you're good at math, that will cover the 48 by 48 base plate from side to side. So when we started, we knew we were going to start with trains or incorporate trains. So that's what we started with. And then it has grown from there. Very quickly, I realized, as I demonstrated before, that train station does not fit on that plate. So that Christmas, we actually, Theo got a larger base plate, the 48 by 48, which is what we had, the gray plates down here. So set up, we had 3 tracks. We started with that, put the train station on there, and then we started watching some YouTube videos. People like Mr. Bookyboo, Brixie. I mean, there's a whole plethora of them, but those were the first 2 that I remember Theo and I both watched. So started getting some ideas. Obviously, we were not going to do it to the same grand scale that those 2 particular creators are at right now. So what we found was a lot of good ideas. And the one thing that I took away from watching those guys is doing Mills plates. So there's nothing wrong with a base plate, but if you're building a larger city, it's kind of hard to move it around and carry it, that sort of thing, with a plate that's that flimsy. It's great if you're not going to move it. You're just going to have it sit there. You're not going to have a very big city, which is fine. Your city could be 1 base plate, and that would be fine. It's all about what you have room for, and the sets that you have, and what you want to do. So I've seen some really cool things built on just a single base plate. You know, you could do a scene, from a movie, from like a Marvel movie or a DC movie, and it can all be on 1 base plate. But if you want to build a larger city, if you're doing all stuff that's going to fit on that 32 by 32 stud base plate, that's great, then use those. We quickly found out that wasn't going to work for us. We wanted to do the Mills plating that we had seen on the YouTube videos, and we had already had some sets that were too big to fit on a single 32 by 32 stud base plate. So we started, get rid of that. So we started going with the larger 48 by 48 stud base plate. So we have this laid out here. As I said before, we had focused on the Winter Village, got that all done. That's all on the larger 48 by 48 stud base plates. Once we got that completed, at least for the year, we decided we wanted to start focusing on what I call just the regular Lego City. So it looked like a tornado had ripped through and just kind of did a clean slate. Now there are a couple of sets just sitting on the smaller Mills plates, but for the most part, cleared everything out, started laying some train track down just to see what we were going to do, and just cleared it all off and got these little 2x2 bricks and just connected them at the corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we did that at every corner, and that way it keeps them from sliding all over the place, before you're building on them. So getting a little bit ahead of myself, but we got that all laid down. So the next step is the planning. So you always want to be thinking, where can I put stuff? How much room do I need? Where is one set going to be in relation to another set? And so we kind of started. And there's some software programs that are out there that you can use to actually see digitally where your stuff's going to be. So we don't really do that. We kind of just go, okay, well, let's just put some sets out there and see where we want to put them. But planning is important. We knew that the first thing we wanted to do was get the train tracks down, so that's what we're doing. We have some tracks here. We do have tracks going around the perimeter of this part of the city. They're not going to stay where they are. That's just kind of where we put them. So, but that's where we started. Start with figuring out how much room you have. How big of a surface do you have to build on? Do you want to go with 32 stud base plates or the larger 48 by 48 base plates? If you're going to be doing a larger city, more than like 3 or 4 base plates, I would start going with the larger ones. That's just a personal preference of mine, but I find it to be a lot more manageable, and you can do a lot more things, in my opinion, on, obviously you can do more with more space. So I like to have just that little extra space so I can set, a couple of train tracks side by side, and I'll still have enough room to put some road plates down if I wanted to have a road next to the train track. So, excuse me. So once you figure out what size base plate you want to use, you have an idea of whether you want to go with Lego City sets or Icon sets, or maybe you want to do a Minecraft city. That'd be pretty cool. So then you just start figuring out where you want to position things, and you always want to leave room, because Lego comes out with sets every year. There's a bunch of new Minecraft sets coming out 2026. There's some new Lego City sets coming out 2026. So they're all, they always come out with new sets every year or twice a year. So, one of the things that I'm thinking about, which is why we ended up doing the train tracks up here from the Winter Village the way we're doing it, is because they have, I believe it's called the Police Heist, which is a new train set. So I was like, well, that's one I definitely want to get. If I get no other Lego sets this year in 2026, that's the one I want. Theo and I both like trains. Just looks kind of cool. It's a little bit different of a concept, but I think it's pretty cool. So we were initially going to have the train tracks on an angle coming down the length of the Lego City. Now, the problem that we're running into is at the height of this table here that the Winter Village sits on, I did a little too tall for the length that we have to have the train tracks come down. So we're just going to have the Holiday Express train and the Winter Tram up here and all throughout the Lego City or Winter Village. And then we'll have the passenger train just on the lower part. It'll actually go under the Winter Village, and Theo has his abandoned metro train station under there. So we'll probably have a rail yard, and I don't know, maybe we'll put the train station down over here, but we'll figure that out later. And as you can see, the cat is claiming his spot. So all that being said, trying to leave room for the new train set that's coming out in 2026. That's why I say, Lego City is never completed, because they're always coming out with new things. And it's like, oh, well, instead of just a passenger train, now we're going to have a passenger train, and hopefully we'll have the police heist train set as well. So, but the first thing that we're doing, we already have all the base plates situated here, and then we'll continue to get the train tracks laid out roughly where we want to go. From there, we'll go ahead and start doing the Mills plates on the train tracks and get those, because they get raised up by one plate thickness. Excuse me, and then build up around them for the Mills plating, like we did in the Winter Village. We'll take a look real quick over here. So you can see we had the train tracks. This is a curve, so it's not quite as clean as I would like it, but it works. So, and then you have Mills plate built up around it, so you can do some landscaping and some other stuff. So, this actually might be a little bit better of a view if I can get the Holiday Express train out of the way. So as you can see, we got the train tracks down here, then we filled in the gaps, and then we have the Mills plating on top of that to simulate the snow. So, so that's kind of how to start. Theme, plates, which is dictated by the amount of space you have, and then whether you want to do Mills plating or not. I see a lot of people this time of year with Winter Villages that are just sitting right on top of base plate, no Mills plate, nothing like that, which, they look great. Our Winter Village is not going anywhere. It's going to stay up all year round. So I was like, you know what, we'll go ahead and do the Mills plating on that. Took a little bit of extra work, but I think it turned out pretty well. So, my recommendation is go with the larger base plates, go with Mills plates. And if you don't know what Mills plates are or how to make them, we actually have a couple different videos. They're how-to videos on how to do the Mills plating. And we try to be budget conscious. So, ours aren't necessarily all uniform pieces, but you can check out those videos if you are interested and don't know where to start on Mills plating. So that's really, without getting too much deeper into it, that is, where I would start. If we were starting all over, which we kind of did back in September, October timeframe, start with what size base plate, what theme you want to stick with, and of course, determine how much space you have to fit all of that in there, and of course, budget. That goes without saying. So, so yeah, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. We're very responsive to any comments that people leave. I actually had a request from somebody on how to build a mountain. We built a small mountain in our Winter Village underneath the Alpine Lodge set, and turned out fairly well, considering we had never built a mountain before. Somebody reached out to me and asked if I could do a video on how I did it, because they were asking, do you use instructions, that sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, feel free to leave a comment. And then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. We have, at minimum, we have 2 videos a week. Usually one's a short and one's a little longer form video. So this time of year leading up to Christmas, which by the time this gets published, we're going to be, a couple days away from Christmas, but leading up to Christmas, Theo's been opening his Lego City Advent calendar. So we have it's super quick. It's a 5-second short every day that highlights what he opened that morning and everything, everything together that he's accumulated from that Advent calendar thus far. So go ahead and check those out. Like I said, they're 5 seconds long, super quick. Set it to music. So anyway, so thanks again for watching the video, for joining the channel. And like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for joining Brick Theosity, where we're not just building a city, we're building memories one brick at a time.